So we are live now, well, officially live, for episode 3 of Day to Day with Kay. I am joined today by Arras, and so we'll be talking about a variety of different topics. You know, talking about cosplay, jewelry making and design, and the creative community, different things like that. So thanks for joining us, and I'll turn it over to Arras real quick to introduce themselves. If I didn't put you on the spot there, but
No, you're good. Hi, I'm Arras. I'm a zoologist actually. I'm currently a master's student. I'm otherwise unemployed slash self-employed. I've been a cosplayer for close to around 15 years now, and I've been making jewelry for not quite as long, maybe 7 or 8 years. I um, started doing that when I was in college, actually, because of cosplay, is when I started making jewelry. And then later it just sort of became a hobby in its own right. And a lot of my jewelry is inspired by my zoology. So that's me.
yeah, thanks. And I wanted to ask about that too because I forgot to mention that you're a zoologist, and that's like one
Yes.
really cool, but two, how did you get into that? Like decide you wanted to do zoology,
It was
studying
kind
about it.
of, I feel like the story of my life is that I'm really indecisive. People are like, "You've done so many things," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's because I can't settle on anything ever." But I've always really liked animals. When I was like really little, we lived in a rental house, which is funny because we actually owned a house, but we didn't live in it. We rented that out to somebody else and then rented a house, and we weren't allowed to have pets in that house. So
Hmm.
when we finally moved into, my parents sold the other house and bought a new house in the area where we actually lived. Um, and I was finally allowed to have pets. I had so many pets as a kid. And I just always loved animals and like wildlife and stuff. And when like growing up, it was like when you'd say, "Oh, when I grow up, I want to work with animals." People are always like, "Oh, you can be a vet," and I was like,
Hmm.
I'm not really. I used to volunteer at a vet clinic. I'm super not cut out to be a vet. So I was like, I don't
Hmm.
really want to do that. So I was like, well, let's get a degree in something animal related and then we can figure it out from there. So I went to school for zoology basically because I was like, I don't actually know what careers there are in this field. So I went to school for it and found out. But it was really funny actually because the school I went to is a very famous veterinary teaching hospital, and
Hmm.
almost everybody in the zoology program is pre-vet. There was like 4 of us who were just like general zoology students. So
Hmm.
people would always be like, "Oh, you're going to be a vet." And I'd be like, "No way." And people would be like, "Oh, um then what does a zoologist do? Do you study zoos?" And it was like, no, those two words have the same root. It means animal, but no. Although I did actually end up working at zoos for a really long time.
Oh, how was that? Yeah.
It's a really tough field. It's one of those industries that I call the so-called like passion industries. Like I have a friend who's
Hmm.
an editor who says that like in some ways publishing is kind of the same, where it's people are like, "Oh, you love your job, you must do it because you love it." And and so you don't get paid very well, but you work really hard. um, because you love your job, right?
Yeah, and then you went to do art instead, right? Or we along
Well,
with
I
it.
know, but nobody's in charge of me if I'm an artist instead. I'm in
Exactly.
charge of
Yeah.
myself, so that's
Yeah.
just all on me and not. There's a lot of emotional exploitation in the field too. A lot of
Hmm.
like, oh, you know you have to do all this overtime and all this extra work because you love your animals, right? Or like people who won't
Hmm.
leave bad facilities because like, well, what will happen to my animals if I leave? And it's like, um,
Yeah.
and actually at my last facility, I had a lot of issues with like the way they treated their employees and the way they treated the animals, and I basically got fired for not being willing to shut up about it. So,
Hmm. I'm sorry to hear
uh,
that. Yeah.
yeah, that was really rough, but that was kind of the last straw for me where I was just like, there are facilities out there that are great, treat their employees great, treat their animals great, but
Hmm.
like, of course, those jobs are the hardest ones to get because once people get them, they never leave.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna time for something new. So I don't know what it's gonna be yet. I'm finishing up my master's degree in biology, despite the fact that I hate doing math. I always end up doing math, a
How's
lot of
math involved
statistics.
with like?
Well, basically, I'm doing like it's math and computer programming. Basically, at the
Oh,
moment, I'm
geez.
mapping things and then like running statistical analyses so that it tells me like information about it. So it's kind of
Hmm.
a like population diversity kind of thing for birds. So it's a
Mm.
lot of math, it's a lot of computer programming, which is another thing I'm really bad at. And I'm just like, well, whatever, we're going to do a lot of it. Which this file that one under Arras makes bad decisions. It's fine. It's whatever. It's people keeping me on track, etc., making
Yeah.
sure I don't mess up horribly.
Well, but you're still learning and you're still like finding some enjoyment in it, right? All right.
Yeah, no, it is really interesting. It's just it's kind of
Mm.
sometimes people are like, "What do you do in your lab?" And I'm like, "Oh, I sit in front of a computer while it thinks really hard." Not very exciting. But like the stuff that I learn from sitting in front of a computer while it thinks really hard is very exciting. It's just the actual process of doing it is not terribly interesting.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It's
Yeah,
all
that's still
good.
pretty cool though. Yeah. And then like how did jewelry design come in? Like this kind of connection between jewelry design and zoology is something I'm really interested in
It,
hearing some more about.
yeah, so it was actually, like I said, I started making jewelry for cosplay,
Mm.
which is like like sounds like idiotically nerdy. And at first
No,
it
I
was just
mean
like beading and I always feel vaguely embarrassed to be like, yeah, so I was cosplaying. And I needed to make some jewelry for it. So my mom found out, and when I have, several times moved back in with my parents. So one time when I moved back in with my parents, my mom was like, "Oh, did you know there's like a jewelers guild in the area?" And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." So I joined the jewelers guild and I started learning like silversmithing.
Mhm.
Um, and it was one of those things where like I said at first it was mostly about cosplay. But like in all the classes, we'd have to, if you took a class, sometimes the classes were specific projects, like it was somebody else's design and you were making it like to practice techniques. But a lot of times it was like, oh, we're working on XYZ technique and you have to design something to make. So like I started learning to design jewelry, and at first I was like, just kind of normal jewelry designs, I guess. Um, but it was kind of boring. Like that sounds bad, but it was sort of like, it wasn't very interesting to me. I didn't think the end results were super interesting.
Mhm.
And I kind of was like, I feel like the key to making like a really interesting design is having some like connection to it or something that you love about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just sort of designing things to design things is like, well, what's your inspiration, whatever. So I
Mhm.
was like, well, what do I know a lot about? Animals. It's funny because I say I don't draw, which isn't exactly true because like obviously I have to draw the designs that I then make into jewelry.
Yeah.
But when I was in college, this is a little gross, sorry in advance. When I was in college, if you're studying zoology, you take a lot of anatomy courses.
Mhm.
And this involves being in a room full of dead things. And
Oh yeah.
most people just like looked at them and took pictures, but I learned things better by doing. So my professor suggested that I try drawing it.
Mhm.
And turns out I'm really good at like anatomical drawings. Um, and I had a lot of fun. Like it sounds weird to be like, yeah, I had so much fun drawing this like dead fish.
Mhm. Well, I mean, inspiration hits where it hits, I guess. Like,
So like then later when I was trying to design jewelry and stuff, I was like, what are shapes that I think are cool? Anatomy. So not everything I design is like that, but a lot of it is. A lot of it is like naturey, which is just that's what I like. That's what I like looking at. And I feel like too when it comes to
Mhm.
drawing and art, like you're gonna have an easier time with things that this sounds stupid, but that you look at a lot.
Yeah, well, it makes
If
sense.
you only look at horses once in a blue moon, you're gonna have a hard time drawing horses. So I feel like this sounds stupid, like I said, but like drawing things, like doing artsy things with things that you like looking at and experiencing, you're gonna get better results,
No, that makes
if
sense, though.
that
I
makes
mean,
sense.
yeah, I mean, because like those things leave an impression on you. I don't think it's stupid. I
And
mean,
especially too, like when you're making like jewelry, and a lot of the stuff I make is very like 2D. It's just a cutout shape. It
mhm.
has to be readable, and I think that's
Yeah.
people really underestimate how difficult it is to like what's the word? I can always think of words until I need them and then they flee my
No,
brain.
I understand. To make
Not
it
like
more like,
simplifying, but
yeah. like the minimalistic shape, or like a
Yeah.
like the yeah. I'm losing it too now. Oh my
You're
goodness.
you're you know,
But
you're not actually drawing the thing. You're not actually drawing the thing. You're drawing a representation of it. What's that thing
yeah,
on the internet where they say don't, you know, it's like a drawing of an eye. It says what's this, and people say it's an eye, and they say no, it's not. It's like a graphical representation of an eye.
yeah. Oh, yeah, iconography, maybe a little bit of
Stylizing. That's the
that.
word I was looking for. Stylizing.
Stylized. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Exactly. Yes. It is.
Yeah, and I feel like if you understand like what are the important elements of this, like
Yeah. Exactly.
what shape is going to read to people correctly,
Hmm.
like with very few details, just as a 2D shape with not a lot of
Yeah.
detail on it. Um, if you know it really well and you understand it really well, it's going to be a lot easier to stylize it, which is of course why, artists are always saying if you want to draw cartoons, like, yeah, it is actually kind of helpful to draw like realistic, like anatomy studies and stuff, because you have to
Yeah.
understand the shape before you can stylize it.
Hmm. But
It's
yeah.
always the hardest part of photography is
Uh,
like getting the settings on your camera right.
oh, I know. And like every time something like slightly changes about the lighting, or you're photographing a different object, it captures more light or reflects more light. It's like a whole thing. But
All of
they got
my
a nice
all of
setup over there.
Yeah, this was a Christmas gift from my brother actually, and it's funny because I hadn't asked for anything for photography, but I guess he was judging my product photography. He bought me this light box, and it was like, thanks, Pat. The
It's a
only
good.
problem though is with black velvet. Every little last speck of dirt is visible.
Yes, it really is. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I don't know what to do. I lint roll it, and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't know what to recommend on it because I have a couple of things like that too, and I just kind of keep picking at it and like trying to get the lint to go away. And maybe if I might like go in and Photoshop the little area and
Photoshop
make
the
it.
lint outs.
Yes, no, seriously though, just like get the little paintbrush or whatever, and just kind of like dab a little bit of black in that, like, because like I can't. It's always something for that.
Everybody says like oh, you can go into like a lint roller or something. I'm like, that has never worked for me.
It's if anything more shows up somehow, it's like where does it come from?
Comes off the lint roller. That's where it came from. It doesn't
Honestly.
help. I have two black cats, and they just produce like an astronomical amount of like fuzz.
Ah, yeah. It's just like everywhere.
I had a fellow former bird and mammal trainer here the other day, and
Mm.
I have a pillow with a toucan, like a picture of a toucan on it, and she was like,
Mhm.
"Look, there's the bird, and here's the mammal." As she like points to all the cat hair on it, and I was just like, I give up. There's just cat hair and everything in my house. It's fine. It's whatever.
It's
Hope
just how it
you're not
is.
allergic to cats.
Oh yeah. No, I don't actually have any pets, but like anytime I am around somebody who has them, especially if it's like the cats, it's like they just leave for everywhere. I'm just like, how do you live like this? but But yeah, and so you were talking about. I'm trying to make sure that I cover like all the different topics we were talking
Yeah.
about. So I was like going through racking my brain.
What else did we
But like,
discuss?
well, cosplay specifically. So I know you mentioned that being your kind of inspiration for, um, creating jewelry because you needed to make jewelry for the cosplay. And it's kind of funny because I kind of came about it the same way. Just like, I was always inspired by cosplay and wanted to get into it. And when I was starting the shop and making jewelry, I was like, let me make things that could work with the cosplay, and then I'll kind of have to convince myself to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if I start kind of building up the wardrobe for it, then like there's no reason not to, right? so,
I think lately too, I've been really obsessed. Like when I was younger, I used to compete and stuff, and it's all about like
Mhm.
accuracy and perfection.
Mhm.
And as I've gotten older, and I'm an adult and I have my own house, and well, house is a generous term. I have a condo. There's 3 rooms in it.
No, that's good. That's good. You're doing good for
3 more
yourself.
rooms than I had before.
Exactly.
Um, but and I have a lot of responsibilities, and I don't have as much time. And I especially with the pandemic, like I work a lot better like with other people around. Like I used to
Hmm.
hang out with my friend, like Christina,
Hmm.
and we'd go to each other's houses all the time to like work on stuff, and I was so productive, right? And then working by myself, I'm just like, man, I just don't have any motivation ever.
Yeah.
And in the pandemic, it's like, so what I found that I really love that I like hadn't really considered previously, I guess,
Hmm.
was basically like fashion cosplay. Like,
Yeah.
that's not the way that I mean it, but like, rather than an accurate outfit, like creating an outfit that like reads as the character, like feels as the character, like
Hmm.
nerd fashion.
Yeah,
Which is actually how I found your shop.
exactly.
Hey.
Yeah, no, come full circle, come full circle. Well, yeah, because that was the kind of the idea too. Because it's funny, like I'm wearing like a Gintama T-shirt, like with the big like the typical T-shirt where it's like the big face of the anime character on it, and like I
Yeah.
love them, I love them. I can't say that I
It's
don't,
not
but
subtle
sometimes,
though.
yeah, sometimes it's like, okay, Gintoki, I don't want your face on my chest like 24/7. Like, you know what I mean? Like, love you, man, but like no, not all the time. So it's like looking for those kind of more subtly nerdy things is sometimes a struggle, right?
Yeah.
And so part of like what I wanted to do was kind of you're talking about the goodness, I lost it already. Not symbol,
Stylization.
stylization. I don't.
I got it. I
I
remembered the
blanked.
word.
I swear, it's the streaming debuff, as my friend calls it. Like I start streaming and I start getting like forgetting everything. But yeah, just looking
For
for
me, it's
that.
the ADHD memory problems. It is actually a thing that
Yeah.
like certain like psychological disorders. That's a very specific like type of memory problem of that like
Mhm.
you will not be able to recall the information specifically if and when you need it, which is
Yeah.
like that's just rude, brain.
I know. It's like I
Makes me
thought we're supposed to
sound
be on the same team here.
makes me sound really stupid.
No, it's all good. But but
Oh,
yeah,
it's
like
worse.
looking for that. Yeah, the lighting thing. I
I was
know.
like, I need a little more light on this in this box,
Mhm.
but now I'm just a dark. Well, oh, we won't do that.
You can still see you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the, the
I'll
the
just
box
try.
is like shiny. It's like the same thing when you're like talking on like a video call or something, and like the window is behind you, and then like everything
Yeah,
cannot be seen
I
that's
have
inside the
the
room.
I have the lighting in my bedroom like perfectly for streaming.
Hmm. And the light box said, "Never mind." All the
Well, this is
preparations
my
out the
workshop,
window.
and this is technically a two-bedroom house, and people are like, "Oh, like have you
Mm.
considered having a roommate?" I'm like, "So the second bedroom is a child's bedroom. It's like 8 by 10."
Oh, jeez.
I
So
wouldn't
it's
put
like
an
a
adult in
closet,
it.
like a
So I
storage
use
space.
it I use it as a workshop instead because my cats can't be trusted with my expensive equipment.
Mm.
So it has a door, they can't get in,
Hmm.
so it's cat safe.
Well, that's good. That's nice to have that extra space, like for the stuff, like for working on things too.
Oh gosh.
Because
Dear
that's like I
cat.
feel like again, it's one of those things too. It's like studio space or just space to work on art is such a blessing if you're able to have it.
Yeah.
Like you
I
see, I'm
didn't
like
for a
working on
long
the
time.
couch on like a movable table, like a TV table. Like,
I didn't
but
for a long time in like my old apartment. Like if I wanted to work on something, I'd have to set something up like in my living room and
hmm.
wait, and I'd have to put stuff away when I was done. Like I'd have to put my
Hmm.
sewing machines away and I'd have to put, everything away. And it's like I was a lot less likely to work on things because it was a whole extra process to like put everything
Yeah.
out. And even now, I don't have a lot of space in here, so like my soldering setup is in a box most of the time unless I need it.
Hmm.
So I'm
That's
like,
fair.
if you want something soldered, you have to wait until I have the brain capacity to put it up, then put it
No,
away again.
it is though, because it does take like an extra bit of time to kind of prepare it, and it's just one of those things. Like I know if I'm planning on working on working on shop stuff, I'll try to like get a chunk of time to do it because I know that I gotta set up and I gotta get everything together, all the supplies and that kind of thing. I was putting sunglasses away earlier, and then I realized I'm like that's actually a much quicker than I remember it being. So I'm done with that already. So I'm gonna work on some earrings myself too, making some of those threader earrings.
Oh
But
yeah,
but yeah, the cosplay. So
that's work.
which I guess I should ask which characters rather, or were your favorite to cosplay? Like, was there a certain type? Because I know I've seen some on your Twitter and that kind of thing, but I'm wondering who was your favorite.
The character that I've cosplayed the most often is Umi Ryazaki, who's from Magic Knights Rare Earth, which is a really old Clamp series.
Yeah, I was like,
And it's
I'm sorry, I don't know that one.
Clamp is like everybody knows Card Captor Sakura and Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles and like
Mm.
Holic.
Code Geass too, right?
Yeah, well, they drew Code Geass. I don't think that
Mm.
was their original storyline. I think they were just hired to draw it. But yeah,
Mm.
they did draw Code Geass.
Mm.
Um, so like, so I'm like, so this was like a series from the 90s, 30 years old now.
Uh-huh.
Um, So it's one of those things where it's like I never get recognized at conventions. So like I do, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Which is why I tell people, like, well, that's not where I find my joy in cosplay, so it's all good.
Well, I mean, it's always going to be even more special though when someone does recognize, you know?
Yeah. I think it's really funny too. Like, I almost say it's my brand is like doing old series that nobody remembers. Um, like one time I was at a convention, somebody walked up and was like, I have no idea who you're supposed to be, but you look really cool. And I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
thank you. I will gladly tell you who I'm supposed to be if you want
Yeah,
to know.
exactly. Like it's a perfect opportunity to put them onto a series and be like, yeah, this is this and this and this is what it's about, and it's really cool, and you should watch it. And just kind of like you either scare them away or you really get them into it.
Yeah. Um, but I have like some friends that I cosplay with a lot, so we sort of have the same like really old taste. We're all old geezers. It's fine.
That's good. I know it's funny saying like anime from the '90s is old, and oh my goodness, it's just like
Sometimes
I
I
don't
see
want to think
things and
about
they're
it.
like XYZ series is 30 years old now, and you're like, oh my god.
What?
Oh.
Oh
I
my gosh.
remember in my lab, we had like a
Mm-hmm.
lab meeting via Zoom, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and we were discussing this paper, and it was published in 1996. And one of the other members of the lab was like, "I wasn't even born in 1996," and I was just like,
Huh?
"Wow, okay. Well, I was definitely already born in 1996.
Yeah.
I wasn't old enough to be reading this paper, but I did exist."
Yeah. Exactly.
Um,
Exactly. That's cool though.
yeah, I felt
Yeah.
really old. Um, but it's all good. Well, that's one of those things too, where I feel like these days, a lot of people for them cosplay is about like popularity, and
Mm-hmm.
so people tend to pick popular series or that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's almost like you have to be careful because it's like there's nothing wrong with being into popular series. I remember one of my little baby cousins was making fun of Naruto cosplayers, and I was like, "There's nothing wrong
Oh.
with Naruto. Naruto is perfectly unobjectionable." Like,
Mm-hmm.
you tiny child. Um, he was like 14 at the time. I was like, oh
Oh
my
my
God.
gosh.
Naruto did nothing to you, 14-year-old.
Well, I'll be fair. I mean, I haven't. The only reason Naruto puts a bad taste in my mouth is because a lot of the fans will be like, "Oh my gosh!" I mean, like, a lot of American fans
Yeah.
will go like, "Oh, I haven't seen Naruto." Or I'll say I haven't seen Naruto, and they'll be like, "Oh, ew, you're not a really anime fan." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, again, if you know who Gintoki is, don't talk. Don't, unless you know who Gintoki is, don't talk to me. Or from
Yeah.
Gintama. But hi, Key Sweets. How are you doing? Sorry, the computer's kind of far from me, so the chat is like small. So I'm like trying to see. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us.
No.
But yeah, but I don't have a personal vendetta against Naruto. I have a vendetta against the
I
fans who act like it's like the magnum opus of the
Oh
world.
yeah, you're like it's whatever. I mean, it is very popular. There's nothing wrong with popular media. It
Yeah,
was just very like uh I feel like you're into what you're into, and you should be cosplaying things because you love them and it makes you happy, and not because you are trying to get clicks on the internet or whatever. Like, there's nothing wrong
yeah,
with that. And obviously, like, especially if you're making art for a living, like getting clicks on the internet is important.
yeah,
But it's also important to have fun and enjoy yourself.
yeah, exactly. Because
Well,
I'm
I'm gonna
like
try a different piece of
finally starting
jewelry
to
because
kind of get into like some like form of cosplay and like the closet cosplay, which I still think is like valid.
I
Just finding
love
stuff that you
closet
have.
cosplay.
Like
Like,
I'm
this
trying to
is the
work with
thing
most of
I've
the
been
stuff that I
doing.
have.
This is the thing I've been doing lately, and I love it because it's
Mm.
like, the classic thing is I'd go to conventions and you're just very uncomfortable, like physically uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of costumes are not very pleasant to wear.
Yeah,
And like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I like wearing those costumes and stuff. But sometimes it's nice to just chillax and be
yeah.
comfortable and have fun. And like, I think kind of the first one I really did was it is actually on my profile, was like a Zelda. A friend of mine
Mm.
affectionately refers to it as hipster Zelda. uh which I was going to be wearing an uncomfortable costume for part of the day, and I
Mm.
didn't want to be wearing it the whole day. So I was like, this is a t-shirt and shorts, my favorite comfortable like sandals.
Mm.
Like, this is a thing that I can wear and be comfortable and happy wearing.
Yeah.
And it was like a revelation, like, wow, I don't have to be uncomfortable in cosplay. Which is not to say that I don't still love wearing like crazy costumes, but it is
Mm.
nice sometimes just to relax and do something easy. And there's all this debate on the internet right now about like what counts as like a real cosplay or whatever. And it's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you just have fun with it, I think, you know.
As long as you're having fun. The word play is actually in it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's like it's supposed to be like something that you have fun with. I mean, obviously you can make it into a career, you know, make money off of it and all that. But I just hope that people at the heart of it are kind of still having fun with it. I mean, because at least that's what I'm trying to do. Like again, like the shop was kind of my way to kind of get myself into finally doing it. Because I was like, okay, great, this piece is inspired by this character, so now I like have to cause it cosplay them for like the photo shoot or whatever. And but like it's something to have fun with, so, you know, explore creativity. I mean, there's all, you know, sorts of different aspects of it too. Like if you really want to go into making your own costume, you get to learn all these different skills, and that's like something I want to do one day too. Is like try to make my own costume, like from scratch. Like if I could learn how to sew and that kind of stuff. But
Yeah. I took sewing lessons. This was like a thing when I was a kid. Sometimes I tell people this and people look at me like I'm nuts and I'm like, I don't know. It was the 90s.
mm-hmm.
Slash early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, like it was kind of popular to get like private sewing lessons for your children. So people a lot of times, this is another thing I find is that people just have a tendency to assume that cosplayers are self-taught. And so people
Yeah.
are like, "Oh, you taught yourself how to sew?" And I'm like, "I didn't actually. I did actually have a teacher. Somebody
mm-hmm.
taught me how to do that." But like, thanks for, I guess, like, is that a compliment? I don't know. Come on, focus on the swan.
Yeah, we want to see the pieces that you're photographing too. Like when you're done, like hold them
Right
up.
now, I'm trying to take good pictures of the swan that I posted. I think it's funny because I'll do like photo shoots with pieces and like
Mm-hmm.
post nice photos on the internet of them, and then like
Mm-hmm.
terrible bathroom selfies that I took will do better. I'm like, well,
I don't know. It's always weird with that, like with the algorithm. I don't know, or just like what people end up gravitating towards. Oh, so it's like it's the sword and like the is it the hairpin?
yeah,
The
it's the
hair?
hairpin.
Yeah.
Man, when I was a little tiny baby,
Mm.
I danced ballet for about 14 years, and at the dance store,
Uh-huh.
they sold, well, I started when I was 4, so itty
Mm-hmm.
bitty. At the dance store, they sold like all this different like bun jewelry, like bun I
Yeah.
don't remember what they call them, but they're metal, but they're like, oh, bun cages, like cages that go over
Yeah.
your bun, or like
Mm.
crowns, little teeny crowns you wear. I always loved them, but my dance school didn't allow them and they were really expensive. So my parents were like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm not buying you that.
Like, is there a reason? Like, why didn't they? Was it because like people would feel left out if they didn't have like a cute one or something?
Yeah,
I guess.
well, and
Or
it was just like the ballet is a weird.
yeah. No,
It's very
I did
traditional
it
and very
briefly
white.
too. Yeah. I mean, I did
It's
it
very traditional and
briefly.
very white.
Yeah, it really is.
And we
But.
had to wear, and some dance schools, I know for a fact, because I knew people who went to different dance schools who would like,
Mm-hmm.
they were allowed to wear like colorful leotards and like all these things. At my dance school, you had to wear pink tights and a black leotard. And if you wanted, you could wear a black dance skirt, the
Mm-hmm.
like wraparound kind,
Yeah.
but you weren't allowed to wear leggings. You were not allowed to wear shorts. You were not allowed to wear colored leotards.
It's like
I
very
had one
strict.
dance teacher who let me wear what's called a bicotard, which is like a unitard, but it's shorts instead
Mm.
of like long.
Mm.
She would let me wear bike tards, which was already pushing it a little bit. But
Mm.
I guess the dance head honcho people didn't know about it, so it's fine. So it was very like we were very limited on what we were allowed to wear, and like you
Mm.
had to wear your hair in a certain way, and everybody had to do the same things. So it
Mm.
was just like unless they were gonna have everybody wearing bun jewelry, like nobody could. So we
Oh
weren't
yeah.
allowed to do it, and my parents were like, "You can't even wear it to class. Like I'm not gonna get you that."
Yeah.
I was always very sad as a tiny child. So, and lately I've been really into watching Chinese dramas because they make some really good TV in China right
Mm.
now.
Mm.
And they always have all the historical ones. They always have this beautiful hair jewelry that all the characters wear. And
Mm.
I was just like so into it, and I couldn't figure it out. And then I was like, oh my God, it's because tiny baby Eris was obsessed with hair jewelry.
Because of the ballet, yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, that's it. That's it. That's why I'm so obsessed with all this hair jewelry. So I was like, you know what? I'm a jeweler. I can just make it. It's magical how that works.
Yeah, I know. It's like once you're like, oh my gosh, I can just make this thing,
I
and
can
then you
just
just do it.
make it. I
Just do
just
it.
do it
Exactly.
myself. I don't have to wait for somebody else or pay money.
Hmm. Well, you gotta buy the materials.
Well, yeah, but
Oh.
I actually it's funny because you can make a lot of stuff out of like a 12 by 6 sheet, and the base metals like nickel cost. You can buy like a 12 by
Mhm.
6 sheet of nickel for like $12. So I
Oh
bought one
wow.
like many years ago and just
Mm.
recently ran out. So
Mm.
it's like, I mean, the cost of base metals is next to nothing. It's like this is nickel. It's
Yeah.
like that was why that wise was saying earlier that somebody asked me like how much would it cost to commission a piece like that, and I was just like probably at least 150 $200. And I was
Mm.
like, and that's if you want it out of nickel, which costs me next to nothing. If you want it out of like silver or something that actually costs money, that's going to be that much more.
Different. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because all the work that goes into it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think people really don't realize when I'm like, yeah, I spent like 2 days working on this thing.
Mhm.
Like, and that's not even including because I had already drawn it and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that's not even including like the design aspect of it, like the time I spent doing studies of swans. I feel like, the FBI agent in charge of looking at my internet record or whatever, it's like, sorry for all the weird things I look at.
I
Mostly I'm
know.
trying to find references for jewelry pieces.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. It's like, but yeah. So interesting how you mentioned doing ballet too, because I did it as well for from like I don't remember what age, maybe like 3 or 4 as well until maybe
I
like
feel like
the
that's the
third
classic
grade.
age that people sign it because
Yeah.
it's actually funny because my mother was a third wave feminist and she was very like,
Mhm.
I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to sign up my daughter for ballet just because she's a girl. Like,
Yeah.
gender is for losers. But then of course all of my friends were in ballet class. So I was like, well, I want to be in
Hmm.
ballet class. But my mom was also not going to deny me anything I wanted. So, well, not anything, but like
Hmm.
she didn't want to tell me I couldn't do it, right?
Hmm.
Because that's not really progress. That's just the opposite.
Hmm.
you know? So she signed me up for ballet class thinking I'd do it for like a year or two and get bored of it. And 14 years later, I'm
You're
still
still
doing
into
it.
it. Yeah, I quit at some point. I got tired of it. I can't remember at what point. I think it was right up at the point where they were talking about doing point shoes and things like
Oh
that, and I
yeah,
was like, ah, that looks
I danced on point for
painful.
about 4 years. It is really bad for your feet. It's actually
Hmm.
really funny because one time I had injured my thumb actually. I was at
Oh.
like the university clinic
Hmm.
and I mentioned something about my feet hurting, and the nurse asked me why, and I was like, "Oh, well, I danced ballet, and I used to do point." She was all like, goes on this
Hmm.
like 15-minute rant about how bad point dancing is for your feet, and it was like,
Hmm.
"Well, I'm aware.
Yeah.
I
It's like it's too
know.
late now.
It's too late now. The damage is done.
Mm.
We did that already. It's too late."
Yeah. But after that, like I don't know, I didn't really stick with like one hobby as a kid either. Like I did basically every sport in the book, like almost. I didn't want to get into like football, like American football, whatever. But I did soccer and basketball and tennis and golf. And, like tried everything. Like.
I always laughed. We had a rugby player at my high school,
Mhm.
and the football players would always make fun of him. Like the American football players would always make fun of him,
Mhm.
and he was just like, "Do you want to come play rugby sometime? I'll kick your ass."
Yeah, I mean it's like we were talking about earlier about jousting before this, and like that,
Oh
like
yeah,
everything you
state
see is
sport of
like,
Maryland.
yeah, is it really? Is it really?
It is, which is why there's jousting schools in Maryland, it's not anymore, but for a long time the jousting at the Maryland Renaissance Festival was actual real jousting. They had a
Oh,
tournament
that's
every year.
wild.
Now it's staged now.
Mm.
It's no longer real jousting, but there's a
Mm.
jousting school in Maryland. If you want to learn to joust, you can go to the Maryland Jousting School. It's like a thing.
That's
Maryland's a
interesting.
weird state. The other state
That's
sport is
interesting.
lacrosse. It's lacrosse and jousting.
Yeah, just thinking of some combination of the two would be very interesting.
Horseback lacrosse? That sounds dangerous.
It really does. It does. But wow, yeah, that's not a sport that I would have considered trying. Honestly, it just again looks so like jousting.
It
Like,
is definitely dangerous.
mm,
My dad likes to watch jousting.
mm. But they have it on.
Does
They have
not
like stuff on
actually
TV,
joust.
like outside of like resident
Um,
residence festivals. Like they have like actual
I don't
tournaments and
know.
things.
I've only ever seen it like live in person. I've never seen it
Mm-hmm.
like on TV or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe.
I mean, I tried to YouTube it. It's like there. It's just like now you got me thinking
Yeah,
about it, and I kind
probably.
of want.
I mean, the Maryland Renaissance Festival is not the only place that have jousting tournaments, so I guess there must be other places you
There
can go to
have to
joust.
be.
There has to be other places you can go to
Yeah.
joust. I don't know where they are.
I know, like I haven't been to a Renaissance festival, but I've always heard people talking about it, and they sound so like, interesting.
They're fun. They're very weird. It was like somebody on the internet was talking about like they'd always just assumed that Renaissance festivals were like a fairly accurate representation of like medieval life, and it's like nope, it's just sort of weird role playing.
Well, how does it compare to like anime convention? Like if you had to rank the two, I guess I don't know on what scale though, but
They're just very different. Like Ren
mm,
fests are like they tend to be outdoors. There's a lot of
yeah.
they're mostly shopping and drinking.
Mm,
Uh and they're usually like a lot of shows. Like there'll be a lot of shows at Renaissance festivals. A lot of them will have a cast that is like they're usually like the King and Queen of England and whatever.
mm,
The Maryland Renaissance Festival actually does like their storyline is based on actual history. Other
mm,
places don't, not so much.
mm.
I go into one Ren Fest where it's like the fairies are jousting with the elves or whatever, and I was like, there are no fantasy creatures in the Maryland Renaissance Festival. Um, well, and like I remember too, one time I wore a cosplay to the Maryland Renaissance Festival just
Mm.
sort of on a whim. It was Pirate Weekend, and I was like, just to do something different, I'm gonna
Yeah.
wear, because I had a cosplay that was a naval uniform. I was like, just to be different, I'm gonna wear that. I
Mm.
have never gotten so much attention. Like everybody
Really?
dresses up. Everybody dresses up at Ren Fests. Like
Mm.
even people who didn't come with costumes will frequently like buy stuff while they're there and put it on.
Mm.
And
That sounds fun.
I guess my costume is just so different from what people are used to seeing at Ren Fests that like
Mm.
it's just like I'm not used to people noticing me. Whereas I think that's a big difference in conventions where like at conventions
Mm.
people dress up because they're trying to get noticed, right?
Mm.
Even if not like for photos and stuff, at the very least for like to talk to people and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas at Renfest, not so much. Like people are just dressing up because that's what you do at Renfest.
Mm. Oh yeah, Key Sweets in the chat says, "Oh, you also hated point." Yeah, I never did it. I dodged that bullet, but
I liked point. I always wanted to be good at it, and I really wasn't. I was. This sounds really weird. Dance is such, like I said, it's such a weird thing, but
mm.
most people considered me a very masculine dancer because I did a lot of like big leaps and jumps, and I'm not so
Mm.
good with multiples, but I am really good at like really dramatic turns and kind of things like that, which is more like what's expected of male dancers.
Mm.
And I was never very good at like the tiny, delicate, like being on point and like looking very light and whatever. I was never any good at that. I've never looked light in my life. It didn't help that I was the tallest person
Mm.
in practically every class I was ever in. I was always in. I also did other types of dance because my dance school you couldn't do just one. You had to do ballet, tap, and jazz. And
Oh
like in
wow.
jazz, we'd do lifts and things. I was always the bass in lifts. I never got to fly because I was bigger than everyone else. And
Oh.
which is also, like people a lot of times ask me like, well, why didn't you become a professional dancer? And I was like, the thing
Mm.
is that I've never been what most professional dance companies are looking for in a female dancer. I
Mm.
was big. I was tall, broad-shouldered, big hips. I
Mm.
did big jumps and turns and leaps. I was never like tiny and delicate. There's no way on earth a male dancer would have been able to pick me up and hold me up for like ages,
Oh.
which is the other thing that a lot of,
Mm.
like people think of ballet, they think of lifts, which actually I think is funny because I know more about ballet history than I probably should. But historically, they weren't really a thing. They were kind of invented in the early 1900s.
Oh really?
Mhm.
Mm.
The they were popularized by Balanchine, who's my least favorite choreographer.
There's a story there
um,
for sure.
he's the reason why, like if you look at pictures of ballerinas from like the 1910s and earlier,
Mm.
they weren't tiny. That was not like a thing.
Mm.
Balanchine was obsessed with, I don't remember her name, but there was a very specific dancer that he was really obsessed with, and she was very tiny. Not
Mm.
like she wasn't, anorexic or whatever. She was just tiny.
Mm.
And he was so obsessed with her that like he was more likely to hire dancers that looked like her. So a lot of his dancers were really
Mm.
tiny just because he liked her, right?
Oh,
Like
I
she was
see.
the
Yeah.
dancer he liked, and so he would hire dancers that looked a lot like her. And so
Mm.
he kind of popularized the like really tiny dancer. And then the other thing is, like I said, as lifts became more popular, you kind of need a smaller lady
Mm.
for a guy to be able to hold her up like that.
Mm.
Which I guess is true in skating too.
Yeah, it's
Not
got some of the.
necessarily a very friendly sport for large ladies. At
Hmm.
least not partners. I guess you can do whatever you want if you're solo skating. But yeah, well, and the other thing is that I danced in the Cicchetti style, and Cicchetti and Balanchine were like rivals, sort of. So
Oh.
my dance teachers all really hated Balanchine. It kind of just like rubbed off on me.
Yeah. Okay. I was
Not
gonna ask, like,
necessary.
was that intentional, like, for some kind of revenge, or just like?
No, just I had a lot of dance teachers who didn't like him, and they would rant sometimes about how much they hated him, and I kind of, yeah, it kind of just rubbed off on me a little bit. Wasn't on purpose per se. Um, but yeah, I also remember one time I went to a camp and I took some dance classes while I was there, and the ballet teacher there,
Mhm.
Balanchine is the American school or the American style, and
Mhm.
she really hated Cicchetti, which was really funny. And at the end of the 3 weeks of the camp or whatever, she was just like, "You're not bad for Cicchetti dancer," and it was just like,
Oh.
you know what? I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take it as a compliment. It was a little insulting, but it's fine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So it's not a one-sided thing, I guess.
I guess not. Like, it's like some kind of like feud for the ages, I guess,
I
between the two
guess. Well,
schools.
then nobody outside of the American school or the Shiketti school probably knows who either of them is. It's fine. It's whatever. Um, but yeah. So I sort of never was like, I probably could have, but I was like,
Mhm.
I don't feel like dealing with the weird world that is ballet.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Because hopefully, like over time, they'll kind of catch up with the present, but can't all be fixed by one person for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the other thing I almost did, I was really obsessed with circuses when I was a kid, and I always wanted to kind of be a circus acrobat.
Uh-huh.
And that actually almost happened because
Wait, really?
there's a school. My grandmother lives in Sarasota, Florida, which is like the
Mm.
where a lot of circuses used to winter. So it's like Circus
Mm.
Capital USA is Sarasota, Florida. They actually have not one but two circuses there.
Mm.
Um, and my grandma took us to see the Sailor Circus, which is one of the two circuses in Sarasota, Florida, and it's
Mm.
actually kids. It's at a high school. And
Oh.
my parents were like, if you want, you can move here to Florida, like with your grandma, and go to
And
this
be in the
circus
circus.
high school and be in the circus. And I decided not to do it, which sometimes I'm like, I wonder what my life would be like now if I had gone into circus acrobatics
Yeah.
instead of biology.
Well, maybe it'll come full circle. You never know. Maybe there'll be some kind of way to combine all of that. I don't know. Life is mysterious like that.
So yeah, this might, like I said, a lot of times people will be like, Eris, you've done like everything on the planet. And I'm like,
Mm.
"Ugh, I have done many things. I just
But
can't
it's
settle."
good, like to kind of try different things. I don't know, like
Yeah, I
instead
think
of
it's
being
good to
stuck in
have a
a.
broad base of experiences. Like that sounds silly when I say it, but
No, but it makes sense. I mean, like I know this is like our like I guess our sage advice for the day, that kind of thing. But like really, you know,
do many things.
yeah. Because I mean, just for me too, like thinking about like getting into different mediums of art and that kind of thing. It's like if you don't try, you're not really gonna know if it could become like a skill. It could be
Yeah.
something that you really enjoy.
I think too, I think another problem that a lot of people have, I was kind of talking about this earlier, where I was like, well, people, I think they get into cosplay for, fame and fortune, more or less.
Mm.
I think another thing kind of like that is like people are almost afraid to be bad at things.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to do something just because you like it. You don't have to be good at it. If you decide to start drawing and you're just like the worst artist ever, like, you don't have to stop. Right? It can be a thing that you just enjoy, and you never know. It might come up in some other application where it is useful. And even if it never does, I feel like just finding joy in something is enough. Like, if that
Yeah,
makes sense, it doesn't have to provide you with anything beyond
I think
some
so.
entertainment or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know, I've always been with the mindset like as long as I of course can like pay the bills, why not give myself that space to kind of try new things. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying, but 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 yeah, something else I think we mentioned we were speaking about was like creative community, and you mentioned this a little bit with the cosplay and like finding groups to communicate
Yeah.
with and that kind of thing, to cosplay with and all of that. But I guess in the online sense, and being in this still kind of age of COVID and that kind of thing, Like, I
Yeah.
don't know, the social media landscape is interesting, I think. But
Yeah. It's like a minefield. You're like, is this person gonna be okay? Are they cool or are they just trying to get clout or and
hmm
it is very hard, I feel like, to know people on the internet. That sounds
hmm
stupid when I say it too, but it's one of those things where I'm like, absolutely, you can make fun. It was funny because this came up the other day, which is that I have a
hmm
friend. We've been talking for years, probably like 7 or 8 years.
hmm
But we've never met in person, and she doesn't post pictures of herself on social media. She posts pictures of her hands. She does a lot of like nail art, so I think it's really funny because I'm like, I know what her hands look like, but I don't actually know what her face looks like. She said something about her hair, and I was like, I don't actually know what her hair looks like. I've never seen it. She just posts pictures of herself online. But I would consider her a good friend. So I'm like, you don't have to know people in real life, I feel like. And,
hmm
and she's also, she makes jewelry, and she quilts. So she's like an artist too.
Yeah.
Um, and I definitely consider her like an important part of kind of my artistic community, if that makes sense. But it's just
Yeah.
weird because it's like, we've never met. She put me as a reference for a job one time, and they actually did call me, and they
Oh,
were like, "So how
really?
did you guys meet?" I was like, "Define meet."
Yeah, like for the purpose of a job interview, that'd be like, okay, online? But like, how do you make that sound not
She
as
got the
like,
job, so I guess I didn't scare them off.
well, that's good, yeah.
I helped, but I didn't hurt.
That's good. That's good. Congratulations to your friend for getting the job. Um, yeah, I mean, because because I think I've come back to this like, topic I think a couple of times because of course that's how I end up meeting the artists that I invite to this show. It's like through social media because it's like I don't really it's like how else am I supposed to necessarily find people who interact in these spaces of fandom and
Yeah.
creativity that kind of thing but I'm not necessarily going outside like I used to.
Yeah.
And even then
Which
too it's like people are everywhere.
somebody that I was well, I wasn't talking to them. They were talking on the internet the other day. And somebody that I follow was
Mm,
talking about how like for them especially like they had
mm,
gotten into cosplay like after the pandemic started and they were like it's so
yeah.
weird because it's like practically everybody makes like a lot of my cosplay friends I either was already friends with or I met them
Mm,
at conventions, right? But
mm,
it's like if you're not going to conventions because of the pandemic it's like a lot harder to meet people.
mm.
It's like dating but for nerd activities.
It's a good way to put it.
Another thing I'm
Yeah.
bad at.
Oh yeah, we don't have to get into that. I understand, but yeah. But hopefully, like like I'm always of the mindset, like once the pandemic is at a point where I feel comfortable going to conventions, I'd love to go to them because I haven't ever been to one before. I've always kind of like admired from afar on the internet. I'm like, this looks fun, a little hectic, but looks kind of fun.
I also like the pandemic kind of hit kind of right as I was sort of getting into like being a little more serious about like trying to sell jewelry and stuff. Like I've sort of
hmm
done it for years, but it's always really been a hobby and
hmm
not really like a thing I was actively trying to do.
hmm
Um, and like I was gonna go to a craft show, but then it got canceled. I'm like,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of like, I feel like a lot of this stuff would be so much easier in person. Like, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like it is really hard. And, when people can't look at things themselves and they can't hold them in their hands and
Yeah.
it's just a very different experience. And it's just like, well, you get photos on the internet that are however good I manage to take a photo of it,
Well, they were
which
looking pretty good, yeah. And like,
photographing jewelry is so hard. Your
yeah,
camera just wants to focus on one thing and you're like,
yeah,
oh.
like, because I studied photography in college, and this kind of product photography stuff was something I'd never really, had the opportunity to practice because, of course, like I was doing a lot of street photo and a lot of,
Yeah.
not even portraits really, and just like a lot of street photo and things like that, because that's what I was interested in. Because it would get me out of the house, it would get me, walking around and checking out places.
Yeah.
And so I would do that, and so now like making the shift to product photography, I'm like everything is so small, everything like trying to figure out like staging because I never really thought about staging that much. I think maybe
Yeah.
because I always thought it was kind of difficult, and so I avoided it. And so now I'm like kind of forced to get better with it. I'm like, okay, actually, how do I place this thing next to this thing, or if
It
I'm, ugh.
Yeah, it is really hard. And I think the other thing that's really hard too is like I was talking to this with a friend of mine the other day. I was like,
Mm.
Somebody who's advising me, I have paid them for the service,
Mm.
basically on advertising on the internet. One of the
Mm.
things she said is like if you're saying that you're like a cosplayer and an artisan, part of what you're selling is your face, right?
Mm.
Your appearance. And she's like, it's nice that you post pictures of jewelry, but like I um think you should post pictures of like jewelry with you wearing it.
Yeah, yeah.
And especially the thing because I have like I like a pin that I've have mass produced, but because I don't sell anything ever, basically,
Oh,
I'm all of my jewelry is handmade. So a
yeah.
lot of pieces are one of a kind, and I had
Mm.
taken a course before in like creative business.
Mm.
It wasn't a marketing course, unfortunately, because that's really what I'm bad at is marketing. But one of the things that they had mentioned is that when it comes to jewelry, a lot of people apparently don't like if it's a one of a kind piece and the one they're getting is the one in the picture, they don't
Mm.
necessarily like people to be wearing it in the picture.
Exactly,
Like they don't
yeah.
want to think that their one of a kind earrings have been worn before.
Yeah.
So I had mostly avoided like taking photo shoots with me wearing the jewelry, like maybe a
Yeah.
necklace, but like not like hair jewelry or like ear jewelry,
Yeah.
because I had been told that people don't like that. But then the other thing I've been told is that like, oh, well, people want to see you wearing the jewelry. They want to see what it looks like on and not just like, on one of
Yeah.
these little tea stands or whatever.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I think that all makes sense though. I mean, because I think, like that was something I think about a lot too with, posing with the jewelry. And for me, it's just the thing that like all the energy that it takes me to muster up to go photograph
To do a photo
myself.
shoot.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Because I'm used to photographing other people, and it's not like I can't pose for a photo, but I can't pose
It's
for a photo.
so much
Like,
harder. It is so much harder. And like you have an image in your brain of what you want the photo to look like. And if you were behind the camera and another person was in front of the camera, you could like, move to
yeah,
the right spot and
exactly.
have them move and stuff. But when it's you have to like take the photo and go look at it and take the photo and go look at it and take the photo and go look at it. You're like,
Yeah,
Um,
it's a lot. It's a lot.
yeah, well, and
But
this is the thing that I talk about a lot is because I
hmm
live alone.
hmm
I think a lot of people really underestimate how much it helps to have like another person in your life. Like a lot of the really successful like art businesses I know are like a couple,
hmm
right? It's like
hmm
spouses and one spouse, like even if one spouse isn't directly involved, it's like I
hmm
try to explain this to my mother all the time. She doesn't get it. I'm like, look, if there's something that needs done in my house, I have to do it. There is nobody else to do it. Like the kitchen needs cleaned, I have to do it. The litter boxes need cleaned, I have to do it. The trash needs taken
hmm
out, I have to do it. The floor needs swept, I have to do it. I need to cook
hmm
dinner, I have to do it. Like there is no one else in this house to do anything. So sometimes it's just like getting everything done in the day that you need to get done, and then like, and now I gotta do a photo shoot.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Like I
like
just don't have the energy for it anymore. I spent all day being an adult.
yeah, like because it takes a lot of energy, like to get in front of the camera and all that. I definitely agree. I'm lucky at least like in the weird way because of the pandemic that I'm living with family, and so I'm trying to like hopefully into the summer rope them into that a little bit. But like everyone's gonna become like apprentice slash assistant slash executive. I don't. We got to figure out titles for this stuff. I don't
One,
know, and I got to figure out like all these different things.
give everybody their own card, the like little name tag. Um, one time I did a photo shoot with my cat, which he
hmm
whenever I do cosplay photo shoots, he frequently is like, "Mother, I wish to be involved." So I have a lot of cosplay photos that randomly have my cat in them, and I'm like, this
hmm
has nothing to do with this character. My cat just really wanted to be in a photo. Sometimes somebody was like, you should do like on purpose a photo shoot with your cat. And I'm like, that's a
Yeah.
great idea. It turns out that it is really hard to pose for photos and take the photos and also like because I'm a professional animal trainer, so like if I was
Yeah.
just like for a photo shoot for somebody else working an
hmm
animal, that's not that hard. But like if I'm also like I have to pose and I have to like figure out what's going on with the remote and like try and get the cat to do something at the right time. And my
Yeah.
mother saw one of the photos and she was like criticizing me because like the cat's paw is kind of blurry and I was like, "You know what?
I can't control that.
All things considered, this went really well."
Yeah. It would be really hard too because you got like all those different things to think about at once.
There's
But
just so much. And just like even just like you said, self photography, if it's just you, even if it's just you, that's a lot of effort. And I'm pretty much a self-taught photographer, so it's like there's a sort of a learning curve going on here too.
yeah.
I
Yeah, I
felt
get that.
I think I mentioned to you that I've been interested in starting like pet photography.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's one of those things that's so weird because it's like I feel a little weird advertising myself as a photographer because I have a degree in zoology and I've spent years training animals.
Hmm.
Like, and I
That
taught
works.
myself how to take photos because there was a pandemic.
Yeah.
Friend who's a professional photographer who like actually has a degree in photography. He was like, "I think you're a good enough photographer to charge people money." Like,
Yeah,
I
and
was like,
especially too,
"Okay."
like with the zoology experience, and you can really, like with the experience with animals too, you can kind of maybe help them be more photogenic in a way.
I can that is
Yeah,
actually basically part of the service that I'm offering is just like
yeah,
I also train your dog a little bit.
yeah,
Like you want me
exactly.
to actually train your dog, that's a separate thing that you have to pay separately for. But
Hmm.
I could teach a dog to look at a camera in 5 minutes. That's a thing I can
Yeah,
do.
that's
It's
that's
not
a very valuable
particularly
skill.
hard.
Like, because I remember I was photographing a friend with a dog, and like she was totally responsible for keeping that dog in check. And of course, that dog was too rambunctious to be in check. And so most of the pictures are blurry, and there's like two where the dog is just like thankfully looking my direction.
My advice
Oh.
is, well, my I have a friend who's a professional service dog trainer, and she
Hmm.
says when it comes to taking photos of dogs, um, dogs get used to sounds really quick because people always try to be like so you either have to keep making like different sound like a lot of different sounds to get them interested in you, or
Mm.
she says what you do is you have somebody stand behind the photographer and play peekaboo.
Mm.
She says it's really effective.
Keep
If you
grabbing
want a
their
dog to look
attention.
at a camera, so like there's like clickers, like people click the dogs.
Mm.
um, those are basically they're what we call a secondary reinforcer. So
Mm.
primary reinforcer is something you don't have to teach an animal to like food. And a
Mm.
secondary reinforcer you have to teach them to like by pairing it with something like food. So
Mm.
basically what she says is when you're doing your test shots in the beginning, like the camera makes a sound when it clicks, like
Yeah.
when you take a photo. She says every time the camera makes a sound, give a piece of food to give a treat to the dog. And a lot of dogs will start
Oh
looking at
yeah,
the
yeah.
camera because they know it has something to do with food. So they're like, food
Yeah.
object.
Because
Gonna stare at it.
they're like, it summons the food. Every time I hear it, the food is
Yeah,
on the
wow,
way.
magical. The food appears whenever that thing makes a sound.
That's so
That's
interesting how
that's my
that
friend
works.
Jess's advice
Yeah.
is give the dog a treat every time the camera makes a sound and they'll probably start looking at it.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah. Stuff to keep in mind for sure. I mean, I'm not, I'm trying to think because I'm like, who do I know who lives near me that has a dog that I could
That
practice this
has a
trick with?
dog.
Yeah. Well, like, they can practice this trick with, that kind of thing. Because that's like, I think is a really good tip. But, uh,
My other thing is that I like, and this is true of my cosplay photo shoots too. Is sometimes people are like,
hmm.
"How did you get such a great photo?" And I'm like, "So I took about 150 photos, and like
Yeah.
five of them were good."
Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh.
So
Like,
she was like, "If you're doing a shoot with a dog, just snap, 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 snap. Just take a ton of photos. There'll probably be a good one in there somewhere."
I know. Like, I want to learn film photography, but of course that stuff runs out after so many
Oh
shots.
yeah,
And I
that's
feel
really
like you have to be more deliberate about it. And I'm like, okay, I have to really like if I'm gonna get into that, I really have to be deliberate about the shots and all that
yeah,
because I have a habit of just like shoot a bunch and eventually it'll work out. I mean, because
yeah,
sometimes you never know if you'll like if you shoot enough, you'll kind of capture that moment you weren't necessarily expecting to capture, but it's like the perfect shot.
yeah.
And so I just kind of keep click, 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 click.
Got to be a good one in there somewhere.
Exactly, and then all the editing takes forever too, going through all the different photos.
Oh
Oh my
yeah, that's the
goodness.
other thing I was talking about. I haven't decided yet because I'm still kind of I'm like making a website for like the pet photography stuff. I haven't decided yet how much to charge. The
Hmm.
internet wasn't helpful. I found an article that was about it that was also like pet photography shoots can cost anywhere from $250 to $2,000. I was like, well, that's
Woo!
useless. Um,
Wow.
but and like sometimes people are like, well, $250 sounds like a lot. And I'm like, well, first of all, a session is like 2 hours. So that's like not
Yeah.
that much for 2 hours of my time.
Yeah.
I was like, and second of all, it's not just the 2 hours I spend with you and your dog. It's also me going home and spending 2 hours staring at my computer, like
Yeah. Do all the editing and
determining which of these photos are good and then editing them so they're better and whatever, whatever.
yeah. No, it's a lot of work. It's definitely like I think it's like a running thread of thoughts that I've been having today. It's about people underestimating the work that goes into art, but also thinking about how um like I guess one of those things I was thinking about just in general, like running the business and kind of thinking about different topics we're planning on talking about. And I was just like, it's so cool how everybody does, all these different things. Like you're there photographing work, like stuff that you've made, and I'm over here making stuff on the table. It's just like there's such like diversity in what you can do with art and what you can do with creating. And I think people don't necessarily. I mean, I have the that kind of a drive to learn more about art and to get involved all the time. But I always wonder about like, people who don't necessarily respect that. It's like, what are you thinking about? Like this is really cool. This is really great. I noticed as well that we're coming up on time too, so I don't want to get too verbose about it. But I'm trying to think of like a good thing to end this on, because it's been such a great conversation, and I'm really glad you were able to join me for this. So is there anything else you think we want to discuss before we go ahead and just like sign off? One more topic. I'll let you choose.
I guess there was kind of one thing that I was thinking about this today, because I mentioned earlier, like, well, a lot of my stuff is like I literally made it by hand, cut it out with a saw. I feel like a lot of people feel like that this comes up in cosplay a lot too, like that if you didn't make it personally, like I know this is when 3D printing was super new, this was a thing that a lot of people like said about 3D printing was like, well, you didn't make it. And a lot of times it was like, well, I mean, this person designed it, or like even if they didn't design it, they had to print it, put it together and clean it up and paint it, you know, or whatever. Or, you know, even if, well, you had to put these pieces together, or like somebody one time I met was criticizing beading, because they were like, well, you just put beads on a string. And I was like, I mean, there's still a design process involved in that, even if you didn't make the beads.
Yeah, and the work is so meticulous and small for that too.
And I feel like there is like it's kind of weird, because it's like on the one hand, people almost like, I feel like they undervalue like handmade things, but on the other hand, I feel like people are like, oh, this isn't handmade. And it's like, well, you know, there's still art involved in, you know, like, yeah, somebody didn't make this by hand, but they designed it, you know?
Yeah, it's like you can't
maybe
win
they had
either
it made in a factory, but, you know?
Yeah, it's like you can't win either way, I swear. It's like, because especially, I was thinking about that when I was first getting into the shop stuff, and on Etsy, you know, I'm making, and a lot of the earrings that I would make were like laser cut. And it's like, these are designs that I spent bunch of time on the computer, you know, putting together and figuring out the measurements, and like sometimes what I'll do is I'll like print out a piece of paper to the size of the, you know, design to kind of imagine, okay, how big is this earring going to be, and that kind of thing. Like I spend a lot of time on it, right? And so when people go like, oh, it's just like it's laser cut, it's like, yes, it can be mass producible, but I still have to, you know, design it, and besides that, I have to, you know, peel the paper off of it, which depending on the complexity of design takes a while. And then it ruins my nails too. And then you gotta like add the jump rings and the earring hooks, and you gotta package it, and then, you know, you gotta photograph it and market it and sell it and all this different. It's like, it's still a lot. So
actually, this is a conversation I had on Etsy, because I had some acrylic like necklaces that I had made one time, and Etsy was like, you can't list this as a handmade item. And I was just like, well, I mean, I designed it. It's my art.
Yeah.
I put it together. Like, yes, a company printed it for me, but like it came to me, I had to take the paper off, and I had to put the necklaces on, and like
it's like it's still a lot.
It's still my art.
And
people, it's not like I just bought it off the internet.
Exactly. And people can feasibly, like, you know, there are certain like smaller like laser cutters that people can have in like their house or their garage and that kind of thing. Like, people can make this all at home feasibly. So just because I don't have the space for it doesn't mean I'm not trying any more than someone who has like a laser cutter right there. So I'm just, it's like, it's weird, but I'm glad to hear you say that too, because I think those are some of the kind of, I guess maybe similar woes that I think a lot of people who get into this kind of stuff experience. You know, people are saying like it's either too handmade and it's like too expensive, or it's not handmade enough, and it's like, just be happy, I'm trying, and it looks cool, right? Like, if you like it, don't complain, you know. But
well, I was gonna say, the funny thing is too is that people will uncomplainingly pay like huge amounts of money to some company, where I'm like, that's mass produced.
Yeah.
How is that any different or worse than some small person mass producing it?
Yeah, it's like you're paying the artist for their labor. You're telling them that you appreciate them and what they do. And so, I don't know. But, so, to everybody out there, please appreciate the artists in your life. Or not in your life, everywhere that you meet, you know?
It's hard work, whether they made it by hand or they just designed it. Or designing is hard. That's another thing I feel like a lot of people don't like appreciate, where they're like, you're like, I also spent like 3 hours designing this. Or whatever, you know.
Exactly.
I had to spend 2 hours drawing swans first.
I know, like, all the reference images, all the like sketches and messy, just like, it's all part of the experience for sure. But yeah, so again, thank you for joining me here. I don't want to keep everybody too much longer, but
it was fun.
It was really fun. Yeah, it was great chatting with you.
I feel like it's that little social thing that I missed, right? Like, this is the nice thing, hanging out with somebody in the shop while you work.
Yeah, and that was, like, again, part of the reason that I wanted to start this kind of thing, because I always thought that wouldn't it be nice if I could, like, really, you know, interact with more artists like this and kind of, you know, be productive and get work done, of course, you know, because that always has to be done. Like, I have this pile of sunglasses that now have to be put in their boxes, but we'll wait on that. But it's like, you know, that social aspect of it, I think, is so important, and also to kind of, learn from other people and get to appreciate the different aspects of being an artist and small business owner. And I'm glad that people are interested in tuning in and being and watching us talk about stuff while we do our work. So that's my thank you to everybody tuning in the chat. And just trying to think of any other orders of business to take care of at the end. But again, this is episode 3 of Day to Day with Kay, so thank you again for joining us. Episodes 1 and 2 are up on both Twitch and YouTube, and this episode 3 will be on Twitch after this, of course, and will be on YouTube next Friday. Not tomorrow, but next Friday. And just
a week from tomorrow.
Yes, a week from tomorrow. Because I want to keep reminding people, like, I feel like it's good to have that kind of week in between. One, that gives me time to just kind of breathe. But also, I think it kind of gives that second wind, It's like, okay, it's been up for a week on Twitch. Everybody on Twitch can see it first. But then if you're on YouTube, you get to see it the second week. And that kind of week in between the shows, since it's usually bi-weekly, kind of keeps that momentum going, I hope. So the next shows, as they are scheduled, will be announced on Twitter, Twitch, etc. And I would like to thank everybody again for joining us. And yeah, Key Sweets, I'm glad you think it was fun. Thank you again for joining us and being so active in the chat. And so without further ado, I will let you go about your day. I should also mention as well that we have some more video game streaming on this channel on Tuesdays. We're playing Final Fantasy VII and a remake on PS4. And Wednesdays are A Hat in Time, and that's co-op with @Dangerous Flair, who is my creative assistant I mentioned, alluded to earlier.
We need the name tag.
Yes, we need the name tag. We're figuring all of that out. But yeah, so thank you everybody again for joining us, and have a great one. See you. Oh yeah, hi Dangerous Flair. I see you there in the chat.